Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode 3 of Spilling the Tea with the Virgil and Friends. And today we are joined with the lovely The Jax Effect here.
Hello, hello.
Yes. And it is, once again, thank you so much for coming in and joining us to this evening.
Always
Uh,
happy to do it.
um, and, if you wouldn't mind, would you please give yourself a little, introduction for those that don't know you?
Well, my name is Jax. I've been on the platform about 3 years. I I do indie and really story heavy games when I play. And recently I've been branching out into some oddly enough, some horror games and some co-op stuff with friends.
Okay. Do you have any current projects in particular that you're working on at the moment?
I am actually like not personally myself any projects as far as stream goes. I am working on some behind the scene things with the Pride Guild and the Women's Guild that'll be taking place in December. We
Oh,
just we're not yet able to talk about it. But in a couple weeks that'll be coming out.
okay. That's cool. Um, although if you mentioned, since you mentioned or whatever, mentioned you've been branching out to horror stuff, but you like story stuff. If you haven't, you should honestly genuinely consider maybe giving the game Death Stranding a try. Especially it normally comes on sale or whatever. The
I've seen that game played. It looks like such a cool game. And it is honestly a good combination of like story and horror. I may have to add it to the repertoire. Also, hi,
yeah,
Popcat.
it's a little popcat. But yeah, Death Stranding is one of those. It's. I love that game. It's one of those games. It's kind of like it's very much. It is the most Hideo Kojima of the Hideo Kojima games. It's one of those. It it has kind of a concept or something that like feels like a really artsy like indie game, but obviously it has a massive budget and like a stupid amount of people that were like, "Oh yes, I'd love to be involved on this."
And it was done really well.
Yeah.
And there's a sequel coming, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I believe it's on the docket for 2025.
My God, it's gonna be so killer.
Uh yeah, and it's already uh I guess he's going for like a director theme cuz so in the first one of the characters is actually played by Guillermo del Toro.
Really?
Yes. Um and it's like and a very important character, not just kind of like a um not like the showing up for like 5 seconds of like, oh look, it's
Not
no,
the fan service type. It's actually
like
integral to the story and
they're
everything.
like and then for this next one, they're having another like director where it's oh gosh, I'm blanking out on his name. Is it is it Max Miller? He's the guy like
Mm.
behind all the the Mad Max films.
Oh, yes.
Well, that and also Babe Pig and also the Babe movie and Happy Feet. Just
That's crazy. It's crazy the the dichotomy of the two, like Mad Max
yes,
and then Babe, like two completely different genres. I love it.
yeah, but yeah, he's apparently actually going to be play a prominent role in the game.
That's so cool.
Uh,
My gosh, that's so cool.
so I guess he's going with the with directors he likes. Uh,
Oh man,
uh,
that's so freaking cool.
but anyway, But we've got some questions that we're gonna line up for this interview, which once again we appreciate you joining on in. We're gonna start off
Excited.
with gonna stuff with some easy questions, and then kind of like, you know, stuff that's a little bit more uh uh streaming specific, as well as stuff that you'll have to like maybe think about. But
Of course.
anyway, but first we'll start off easy. So, what is your favorite color?
Red. Red and purple. It's a nice tie between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Like I grew up actually leaning into red because I've never been one for pink.
Mm-hmm.
And the older I got, the more I kind of like the different hues of purple, which is why, as you can see, why purple is such a big part of my OC now. Um, and yeah, like red and purple are home
Mm.
for me. Like they just work. They're not they're not the typical like girly colors, I guess, but I love them. Love them.
They have kind of a, especially as red and purple together, they kind of like it's kind of have like a mysterious vibe or
Yeah.
something like that.
They're just sassy enough.
Mm. Uh,
And it's not far from like the purple. I like to like purple's like a mid between actually I think like red and blue obviously because they make purple. So on occasion I may slide a little bit to the left and throw some more blue in there and like have a different accent on the purple and it just makes me so happy.
mm.
Right. Popcat exactly. Like it can go both ways.
Oh yeah, it is very very true. Um, like red's my favorite color, so
Yeah.
that's why
It's a
I'm,
great choice. We love it.
which is why I'm kind of a maroon. Maroon's a
Look
nice
on
color.
you. It's fitting.
It's
It's
like,
very fitting.
yeah, it's red, but it's not. It's more of a. It's it's not as like bold or kind of out there. It's a little bit more. It's red, but it's calmed down red.
Yeah. It's a nice even tone too.
It's decaffeinated red.
Decaffeinated red. I love that.
uh, but then also, although that leads us, what is your favorite drink?
Ooh. Okay. I think generally my favorite drink is like it's real simple. But it might be a tie, but it just depends on my mood. Like ginger ale is my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Like real ginger ale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's the store bought like the Schweppes and the Canada Dry and all that, but they have a lot of sugar in them. The actual like ginger ale,
Mm.
love them so much. But then Dr. Pepper went and made strawberries and cream, and it's secretly a weakness. Secretly a weakness.
uh, Ginger ale is amazing.
It's
It's best if it's homemade.
right, because that's when you know like you're using it's the good stuff. It's the good stuff.
Uh,
Like
all right.
I mean, I know like folks give it like your parents probably give it to you when you're sick, when you've got a stomach ache, but I mean, I guess it's not far from ginger beer with the strength in it. And if you can handle like the bite of ginger, it's so good. Cold or warm, it's so good.
Hmm. Uh, all right. Next, what is your preferred tea? This is spilling the tea, so I have to ask the tea specific question.
So there's this, I think it's a Starbucks tea. Um
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a passion fruit though. So I mean, guess generally it'd be passion fruit, but it's like I can picture the package. Like it's a little purple package that they have, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the first time I ever had it was at Starbucks, but it was the cold version.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out that they had them like in the little tea bags and you can make it at home. And I was like, oh no, this is the win. I love that with some honey because I don't use sugar in anything
Right.
as far as like my drinks and stuff. Like I don't use sugar. Honey, I would prefer. So just that with some honey and lemon, the best.
So it's
Just
like
the best.
so that like passion fruit type
Mm-hmm.
herbal. Okay. So
I'm
this
a
is
I'm a citrusy girl. I like my fruits are mango, passion fruit, pineapple. Like if I can rock with those, like in any form, yeah, it's a good day.
mm.
It's a great day.
Have you tried uh uh hibiscus
Oh,
in any
hibiscus
of?
is awesome.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
figured it's probably because since that's that very it is very like tangy and stuff like that. Very
Hmm.
like a fruit.
It's like it's a what we call a summer flavor.
Mm,
They're summer flavors, but still like so good. And I mean, if you can mix them, they're good for mixing also with lemonade. So they would be good for your tea lemonade combos.
mm.
Trust me when I say.
Okay, and then so next question, what is your favorite dessert?
Tres leche cake, hands down.
Ooh, okay,
There
nice
is
choice.
no competition. Like second would probably be banana pudding just because it was my mom's signature. Like she would make banana pudding for us all the
Mm,
time whenever she made desserts. But tres leche cake is my number one.
okay.
I I would make it. I don't think I'm very good at making it. Like my mom also used to make it all the time, but whenever I can get it, like I'll get it from a bakery. I'll go to a local bakery here and get up early in the morning and go get me some tres leche cake.
Mm,
If you've never had it, I highly recommend it. Like it is a little like it's not a traditional cake, obviously, because it's three milks. So it is technically a softer, soggier cake, but the flavor is unmatched.
okay. Answer, good answer. Right, so what is your favorite book?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite book. I
Or
do have
if you
a
have like
favorite
a
author.
okay.
Um, because I always go back to his books.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Cook. And he's like he's a doctor turned author.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of his books are like medically based. They involve like wild things that can happen in healthcare or like just with doctors, nurses, or just folks in the field. But he's also done he has this one book called Invasion, which is literally like it's what you would think it is. It is an alien invasion, but the scale of it is the approach is very different. And he also did a book that I am also a very big fan of that wasn't it was medical but an offshoot where like essentially the premise was this dad, he's a scientist, wanted the perfect child.
Mm-hmm.
And so he literally did everything he could to create the perfect child. And sometimes it's just better to leave well enough alone,
Mm.
as he did learn.
Okay, so here's a related question. So, what is your favorite movie?
Of all time, it's probably really cheesy to say. Um, is Nightmare Before Christmas? Yes, Popcat. It was definitely Gene Splicing. Yes. Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton's, even though Tim Burton didn't really have anything to do with it other than his name. Um,
I feel it's best to say like Danny Elfman. I feel like it might as well be
right, right.
Danny Elfman presents The Nightmare Before Christmas.
But it's definitely my favorite. I am one of those people. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Jack and Oogie Boogie. Um, I have for my birthday years ago, my friend, she's an artist, and she actually did a jean jacket for me where she painted the scene of Jack and Sally on the mountain at the end. She paints it on the back of the jacket
Aw.
and has like Oogie Boogie like on the pockets on one side on the front. and Zero on the other. Like yeah. I have a Monopoly set that's Nightmare Before Christmas. Like I love it. It's definitely absolutely my favorite.
Mm.
Going the other direction, Boondock Saints is also up there in my list of movies. Doing a complete 180, the range of Jacks, like Boondock Saints is also a top tier movie for me. Like it's definitely a movie of its time. Like there's stuff in it now that is absolutely a bit much,
Mm-hmm.
but the overall premise of the movie, like it's it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah. Uh, although now, unfortunately, my brain has been spoiled by someone because of every time Boondock Saints gets mentioned, I immediately go think of Helsing Abridged because of there's the
Yes.
whole thing of like Boondock Saints. What are you talking about? You just quoted Boondock Saints.
Someone, oh my God, we watched that movie recently and someone brought that up. I didn't even, I watched Hellsing when I was so much younger for the first time. Like it was one of the first animes like I ever watched. And I didn't even remember that scene because I don't think at the time I had watched Boondocks. So I did it backwards. Like I saw Hellsing first, and so I didn't get the reference. And so when it came back up after, I was like, "Oh my God, that's so funny. I love that."
uh,
Pop culture, man, I love it.
yeah. uh, it's one of those things. If I ever somehow, by some massive stroke of luck, if I ever end up on like, what is it, the Weary 101 with like Takahata or whatever, I'll have to like several things or whatever. I've got a bone to pick with you. The introduction of this phrase "crap baskets" to my lexicon and the frequent usage, and then I immediately
Oh,
think of if I think of Boondock Saints, I immediately think of Helsing Abridged. Uh, uh, right. Next, what would be your favorite musician?
oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
If
I
you can do
hadn't
like a,
really
if you
thought
can do
about
like, if you can do like a top like, on like this type of stuff, if you want to do like a top like two or three, if you're having trouble, that's fine.
it. So I guess I'll go with folks that I always go back to. Lincoln Park, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I will always pull up a Lincoln Park album and just let it rock. Same goes for Usher, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably definitely up there. I've seen Usher was the first concert I ever went to was Usher. And I think I've gone to four Usher concerts like in my lifetime for like different album releases or whatever. It was just always down to go to an Usher concert. So yeah, I think
Pardon me.
at least just generally NT Pain.
Mm.
NT Pain. I can listen to T Pain like the rapper T Pain and also the singer T Pain because so many people don't know how good that man's voice is like outside of his auto tune existence. Like he's just good.
Mm.
And he should honestly just do an album of just R&B, him singing. It'd be great.
Mm. Uh, okay. Here's a related question. What would your favorite album be?
Ooh. It would have to be it can even be a straight album from one person. I mean, it probably could be. I'd have to go into the archives, but I think a compilation album would be better. Just because like there's so many people that I would need like me without music. Like I live for music. My every day is music.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to work, me at home just doing stuff, being productive. I have some sort of music playing in the background. Um I will go outside of the norm and I'll actually say it would be something orchestral.
Mm-hmm.
It would be instrumental, but it would be orchestral. Because I mean, like even me right now, um, I think about all of the different like movie soundtracks, like Broadway soundtracks I want to get. Like I want to get the Wicked soundtrack and West Side Story and like The Greatest Showman.
Hmm.
And it's things like that. Like I love that music. It just hits me very differently and it puts me in a different place. I love that. So it'll probably be one of those. Honestly, like yeah, it'd probably be a musical soundtrack.
Okay. Uh, what is your favorite game? Or favorites if you're
I
having trouble picking.
no, it's not. I think like my favorite game, I'll say, is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor
Mm-hmm.
because I can go back to that game at any time.
Mm.
Like it has a very concise story. The gameplay is very simple, very straightforward. Um it taught me the meaning of a bullet heaven. It's based on Vampire Survivors, but I didn't really get into Vampire Survivors first. I got into Deep Rock first because I played the original. I can like if I'm not in the mood for anything, I can pull that game up and play and like be content.
Mm.
So I will definitely say like it's my game as of right now, for sure.
Yeah, it is like it's been a bit since I've like played like of that type of like survivor or I guess what is it the van or the what is the name for that genre? Is it
Like
just like
the,
vampire survivor like at this point?
like
I can't
I mean
remember.
honestly it should be. Jesus Christ, it really should be. Like I don't even think it counts as a dungeon crawler. I don't Is it a roguelike?
I
Let me
think
just
roguelike. I think that's like
Yeah.
part of like
I think that's yeah.
or
Because of
survive.
the RNG of it and everything in it. And like once you die, you just start over and like essentially get a whole new playthrough. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a it's one of those. If you want to try like a version that's like honestly like in that genre that you can literally like just play for free. Um, there's it's called Hollow Cure,
Ooh.
and it's a Hololive fan game. You can get it on Steam. It's free, but it's like some some mad lad or lads made an entire like thing, this fan game or whatever, which has like I think, and either they're coming out with another update or whatever because it's still in development, but it's
Yeah.
that vampire survivor, but it's all like this stuff and all the, and they went a whole bunch as far as like on attacks and things like that. Each character, of course, which are a bunch of them, and they're all different of the Hololive characters, like they all have their own unique attacks and all this, that, and the other. Um,
Oh, add that to my list expeditiously.
yeah, Hollow Cure. So that's, and once again, it's one of those things. It's like if you even remotely like the genre, it's one of those things. Try because it's free on Steam. So you know,
I like that. No, gosh, I'll add that immediately.
um,
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's cool as far as like Hollow Live has been about that because like honestly, they'll be like the members have played the game on their streams or whatever, and have been really friendly to the developer. It's cool when fan stuff and the actual it's like treated well. It's always cool when you run in that situation,
I like
as
that.
opposed to fan stuff in some other companies who shall remain nameless. uh, um, how dare you have fun with our characters, you
I'm
bastards!
always I'm always in the market for a new game.
Uh, All right. What is your favorite game character?
So many. If
It's
I go with
you could pick a
a
cut two or
recent,
three if it once again if it's if it gets too hard.
like because I've gotten back into playing Final Fantasy X too,
Mm-hmm.
I will say that it will be Pain. I was a fan of Pain when I first played the game. God, what, 20 years ago? That's crazy to think. Um and like she was my favorite character then. I like her. I like her a lot, and I like how they fleshed out her backstory
She's the kind
because
of
she
like
wasn't, huh?
she's like the kind of rocker looking one, right?
Yes,
Okay,
and
yeah.
she was not a part of the original game,
Right.
whereas Riku and Yuna were. Pain is a brand new character for the sequel, and they gave her like she's so deep, like she's not surface at all in any way, and that brings me so much joy. And I love like the story of her character. Once they reveal it all, loved it, and I love her like
Mm.
as a character, like as a character in the game. I love her.
Mm. Yeah, I don't remember much about her, and it's like I played through the game 10 too. But of course, once again, that was like 20 years ago.
Right,
So I was
right.
like, I think I remember, like, from what I remember, like, I think I remember, like, liking Pain or whatever. I don't think there was any characters like that from that I disliked, honestly. So,
I
um,
mean, it's true. It's true.
uh, so,
But me trying not to, you know, spoil me trying not to spoil a 20-year-old game, right? But yes, like I'm I'm remembering like it's an active playthrough. Like I'm replaying it now. But like the more I play, the more I remember of her like in the back and how she responds to some of the other characters. I'm like, oh, like knowing, hindsight is 2020. So knowing her with the other characters is like, oh, it makes sense. And just,
mm.
you know, love her.
Okay. Next question. What is your favorite word?
Honestly,
Before you answer,
probably.
1 second. I should probably
Mhm.
go 2 questions later. There is a what is your favorite curse word? So just as
Oh
a
yeah,
heads
no,
up.
wouldn't even be the yeah. No. My I think my favorite word is probably expeditiously. I use it a lot. And I didn't realize how much I used it until the people that I like hung out with also started using it. So
uh,
I think my favorite word is honestly expeditiously.
expeditiously is a nice word. It is. Um, all right. But what is your least favorite word?
mm, work probably.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum, ba.
It's yeah. Like I hear work or I think about work, it's like ugh again. That might honestly be it. Just where it's not even the word's fault. It's just
Hmm.
what it's associated with, unfortunately.
Understandable. Uh, okay. Now for the question I give. What is your favorite curse word?
um, I guess it will probably be bitch. Just because I say it a lot when I'm playing, like when I get jump scared or when some of the enemies are like extra, just extra,
Hmm.
extra ridiculous. Um, my go-to phrase is like "you big bitch" every time. Like it's now a command on my channel that we count. So like that's how, that's how it is.
I,
Because some of those enemies are really big and they're really aggressive and they won't go down when I tell them to.
it is a very versatile word, and it is one of those like it's the type of word or whatever that if like especially if you're like you save up and use like on the timing, it it
Right.
it just hits just right. Than a lot of other curse words. If like if you time it right, just a you bitch just hits nice. You have to you have to like be you just have to make sure you time it just right, and then
Right. You just
it's
have to emphasize it
yeah.
properly and all that good stuff. Oh my God.
So
It's so true.
you know if it's a word you don't use a whole lot, but if like you're waiting or like you know when to use it or whatever, well, there's although honestly there's a lot of like curse words that are like that. Um,
Man.
but yeah, darn millennials just don't work. Uh,
Those darn
uh,
millennials.
uh, how dare they them and their avocados? How dare they eat healthy vegetable? Wait, is avocado a vegetable or a fruit? Or no, wait, is it? No, it's not a nut. Would it be a vegetable
That's
or a
good.
fruit?
Ooh.
I think it would count as a fruit.
Don't get me started. Both. Actually, both. Is it really both? That'd be interesting.
Fruit is a botanical.
Mm.
Oh, is it one of those things where it's like, well, botanically, but in terms of like farm or whatever, vegetable? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like, because, like, when it comes to how the seeds go and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, apparently avocado is a fruit because they grow from a flowering plant and contain seeds. Botanically, it's a berry. Right. It's that part.
Mm,
I know when it comes to the seeds, it'll change classifications.
yeah. It's just weird thinking about it as like a fruit because it's like the flesh is not something that I associate with a fruit.
Right? Right?
Uh, flavor.
Man.
Okay. Uh, okay. Moving on to the other question that I stole from James Lipton. Uh, what profession other than you own would you like to attempt?
So I did um I did want to be a writer. When I first went to college, I actually went for creative writing and um I was deterred the irony now, but I was deterred from it because I was told and I was fed that like there's no money in writing, like there's no real money in writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't pursue it. And I didn't like I changed degree paths and I just didn't finish that. But I still love writing. Like I have notebooks full of short stories and poems and like things that I've started and all kinds of good stuff. And
Mm,
I still love writing. Like I write for fun. Like I used to write letters to my friends, because people don't write letters anymore. Letters, that's a very old timey thing. Um, but yeah, like I loved writing that much that I'd send postcards and little pen pal type letters and
mm,
do stories and poems, and it's something that just never really left me.
mm,
So I think in an alternate timeline, Jax is a journalist or an author or maybe a screenwriter somewhere.
mm. Okay. Right. So, next question. Uh, favorite type of pizza?
Oh, I'm gonna hurt feelings. Um, my favorite pizza. has pineapple and feta on it. Occasionally banana peppers. But yeah, pineapple and feta, hands down. I'm not one for like meats on my pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's just never been my vibe. But yeah, it's something about like this the salty and sweet and just they just go well together. They really do. I ended up doing that by accident one day. And it was the best accident I could ever have stumbled upon.
Mm. The thing that's throwing me honestly is more of like specifically the feta and the pineapple, honest, because it's like, I get honestly like the general like, the standard like cheese or whatever, mozzarella and pineapple or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just this sweet, savory, salty. It's more of like specifically the feta and the pineapple that's like throwing me, trying to
When I tell you,
me trying to like imagine it is like kind of like going. I just have a try of like try to combine the two flavors in my mouth,
like
my.
I'm telling you, I have no idea how. I don't know what topping I was clicking on that I ended up clicking on feta. I really don't. But it just I tried it when I got it and it worked. I mean, I guess also it would depend is like the pizzeria has to do it right. So like if you happen to get a slice that's way too much feta on top and not enough pineapple,
Mm,
it's just not going to hit the same because it'll be like feta is definitely a salt heavy cheese. And so like it's definitely like added salt and not having the sweet and tart of the pineapple to cut that, the flavor profile is definitely
mm.
it's not going to hit the same. But
Yeah, feta's one of those things where it's just like a little bit goes a long way.
right, exactly, exactly.
Uh, okay. So here's a just one. If you pop quiz
I
says
actually lived in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs now. I am from the city though. I'm originally from New York City.
New York City. Wow, did I really just make that dumb salsa joke? Yes, I did. Uh, curse you, '90s commercial, '90s commercials that live rent free in my head. Uh, right. Uh, if you had $100 million to make a movie, what would it be?
Ooh, ooh. Um, like it has to be an action movie. It would have to be an action or like a psychological thriller. It
Mm-hmm.
would have to be, I think, because it's like it's the suspenseful types where like you don't where the ending isn't very predictable and it just catches you entirely by surprise. Those are my favorite kinds of movies. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to make one just like that.
Okay. Oh, and did you have any ideas? Maybe like someone that you'd like to star in it, or direct, or maybe a studio that you would want involved
Rachel
in.
Weisz, because she is like one of my favorite actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Weisz and Zendaya. I'm big fans of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Male lead wise. Oh my God, Charlie Hunnam. I was like, I can't think of his name. I just know his name is also Jax. But yes, Charlie Hunnam,
Mm.
um, of Sons of Anarchy fame, I think, and David Tennant because he's my favorite doctor.
Mm.
Like 10th Doctor, best Doctor,
I
followed closely by 11 because
mm.
I am partial to 11 also.
I agree on the David Tennant being best Doctor.
Oh,
Uh, let's see. Okay, and then so who is your waifu or husbando?
I don't think I have one. I honestly don't think I have one, which is probably really weird. I Yeah, I don't think I really have one.
Mm. But it's fine if you don't. I just all right.
That's probably the only thing I don't have.
Well, you can like tweet at me or something like that, and like at
If I
like
do get one.
at like 3 a.m. when it finally hits you or whatever, when
And
you're
when I
like,
do find it's like, wait, oh my God, I did have a waifu this whole time.
uh, let's see, um,
Phone word, hello.
hello, welcome in, Boney, welcome, welcome. Uh, all right, so here into more specifically um streaming related questions.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, so what inspired you to get into streaming?
Um, Honestly, it was me just seeing a lot of, and I mean, I guess it was the times too, because 2020 and all, but a lot of the people that I was getting to know and the friends that I were making were doing it, and it looked like it was a lot of fun. And since, like the whole getting started thing is generally pretty easy,
Mm-hmm.
I was lovingly bullied into doing it. Like it was October and I was like, "Oh, well, like I'll just do like I'll stream in March. Like I'll do a stream in March if I actually have the 50 followers or whatever." And I don't even remember who it was. It was like, "Yeah, no, Jax is going to stream." I was like, "Well, fuck, now I have to stream." And so I streamed and I had fun. Like it was my first stream was like me sitting on my bed, just like having a regular old conversation with folks as they came in, talking about like I guess kind of like this, like just hanging out with friends, talking about life and food and just things that were going on and what I was getting into. And I had fun.
mm.
And so I kind of just started doing it. I can't even say regularly, but like every now and again. And I had friends who would pop in and was like, well, this is kind of what you need. Like you should get a capture card and you probably need a headset and little things and little by little like I got to where I am now and now I have a whole computer and I actually do, I mean, at least for me, like streaming the right way. And I know like there are folks that have like huge production streams where they have like all of like the super big time monitors and all of the hardware and all that good stuff. I'm okay where I am with my little Logitech camera and my little mic. Like imagine having a whole computer. Cause when I first started, I was streaming off of my 4-year old school laptop. So a laptop not even built for video games.
mm.
Like it was a computer for work. So I think I've come a good bit in
Mm.
my streaming career. Like even now, like I'm actually just now getting to where I'm streaming regularly, like an actual streamer. Like I'm actually considering myself a kind of sort of a streamer now. So
Mm. Uh, uh, oh, and far
well, when
for.
he's streaming off of a calculator. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you could still like probably play Run Doom off of that for sure. Stream Doom on it. Stream Doom on a calculator. Although actually, there's a streamer or whatever that like actually I think I was just seeing this or whatever that they was talking about like that. It's this dude that does all like these crazy like batshit insane like build projects and stuff like that live on
Ooh.
stream. Um, and a lot of it's normally like just very memey as all heck. Um,
That sounds
but uh,
cool though.
but he uh apparently he's like his next stream or whatever one it is, it's like he's gonna try to like run Doom off of run Doom using horse electrolytes.
What?
I guess using that as an energy source or something like that.
Oh my God.
I don't.
What are people doing?
It's the
That is
same.
wild.
It's the same person that did a stream where he uh smoked some steaks with cigarettes, and eventually worked up to one where it was 500 cigarette smoked steak, a number of which were like menthol cigarettes. He
No.
did it
Oh
like
my
in stages of
goodness.
like, here's X amount, and then here's this X amount with menthols. Um, which smoke it and then cook it, properly or whatever, which went exactly as you would imagine it is.
Oh my gosh, that's an interesting style. When I think about smoking meats, that is not where my mind goes. Wild.
Uh, uh, yeah, that's the short way of doing it. But it's always just cool to see like there are a number of people that do some really like creative as all get out just things on streaming. If there's a thing, you can find out some person that's streaming it seriously,
You are not wrong there.
which is one of the cool things about it, honestly, where it's like, you know, it's its own self-made entertainment platform.
That-
Streaming is.
That's true. Like there's absolutely content for everyone. You just have to know where to find it.
Some of it does. It's kind of like makes you think of like what is it like the stereotype like public access like 2 a.m. something on public access at 2 a.m. or whatever of just it's something really weird or bizarre that just like someone was like, I want to do this thing, and UHF exactly. Or if like I need to express myself by doing this form of entertainment, but the only thing I can get it is like just on this hole in the wind station at during the 2 a.m. slot. So you got to do what you got to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Now everyone has their, but it's like now with streaming, now everyone has their own 2 a.m. public access. Isn't that how MST3K got started? Pretty much. It was public access like in Minnesota, I think. Um that it's sort of like their first before they got actually like picked up by a network. It was just this they were just in like this very local TV station that was just in the local area of, and I think it was like Minnesota, but it took off. They,
Wow.
they got a whole bunch of like, if I remember right, they got a whole bunch of like calls like when they were first starting to do it of like, of all these Minnesotans like, oh, you're. I think one was apparently, oh, you guys are onto something. And then, uh, I remember that on the Sci-Fi Channel back when they could spell. Oh gosh, I'm having PTSD to when they changed that from the sci-fi to the sci-fi, which is
Oh
science
my
fiction to
God.
SYFY, which was just like
Why
the
did they do
dumbest thing
that?
ever.
They made it very cartoony and more like kids like.
I it I uh, it hurts just thinking about it. Why did you have to remind me of that podcast? I'm taking mental damage from psychic damage just because thinking about that. Uh, uh, Okay, that mode. Actually, so I need to run an ad break. So because I'm getting the countdown message stuff, which that'll give us time to recover from from that, I guess. So we'll put pause, and please remember that if you happen to have any questions for Jax, feel free to put those in the chat, um, and I'll
Yeah.
try to ask them after the break. We still have some questions on my own, but if you happen to have any for her or both of us or anything like that, feel free to put those in the chat. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages. Put us on the be right back screen, and so just see you in a few.
See you soon.
All right, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for your patience. Wait for the break. Uh, okay, let's see. Oh, Popcat is asking, could you tell me about your unicorn avatar?
So, unicorns are like my favorite animal next to a capybara. I guess unicorns are like my favorite mythical animal. So when it came to me deciding on an OC, it was easy. It was an easy choice, like easy choice. I didn't want her to be like a typical unicorn, just a run of the mill everyday unicorn. I wanted her to fit more of a style of like an adult, or at least or like a young adult, as far as her dress and the overall appearance. So that's why she presents the way she does.
Mm.
Um she is sized like I am and dressed in a style that I would normally like I would dress, not every day, but at least like it's something that I would wear. A style that I'll wear. And actually, funny enough, my talking PNG that you see here, her outfit was modeled after Yuna from Final Fantasy X. It's her
Oh.
it's her default gunner dress spirit look.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. It's just in like my color scheme, which would be the purples and the reds and the light blue kind of as a contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just worked on my favorite colors.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, question I have. So, what inspired your design slash theming?
That's so funny because that's it's perfectly on topic.
Yeah, I was about to say
That
that.
was like perfectly timed question, Popcat. But yeah, that was the and this here, this is my original OC. How she was drawn, she has changed a little bit since then, like as the brand has grown and as like I've gotten a better idea of how I want her to look overall. She has changed a little bit, but when it came to this one, it's the same thing. Like the overall concept, like I believe like there's power in fire, which is why her mane, like all her hair, like it's actually flames instead of just regular, fur
Mm-hmm.
form. And I wanted her to be a little bit anthropomorphic. So not always exactly like a horse would look, but more features that would resemble a person. That's why she's got fingers instead of hooves, and actually in the more updated version, like she's wearing sneakers because I do love my chucks. Yeah, that's where she comes from.
Okay. Um. So next question. Um. What is your biggest inspiration for what you do?
Outside of streaming, don't don't listen to Boney. Um, my biggest inspiration for what I do, like outside of streaming, is I've always been in healthcare, like always, from even from when I was in college, because I was pretty sick in high school and early age in college, and so it kind of made me want to learn more about what was going on with me and how to help people that were younger than me that may also have to go through it. So it kind of motivated me to get into healthcare in the medical field and stay in it.
Hmm.
And so I have done a lot. Like I've worked a lot of different jobs in the medical field and seen a lot of different sides of it. And I love it. I love it. Sometimes it is indeed a thankless job. And sometimes the management, like in most jobs, they just suck. But
Hmm.
love it. Love it. Now, as far as streaming, like when it comes to me and streaming, contrary to what Boney says, I kind of just get into the things that I like. Like I like puzzle games. I like stuff with stories. And so I was playing them games anyway, so why not stream them so that folks can also like react with me and be blown away with me and, just kind of root for the right guy. Like
Hmm.
sometimes the bad guy isn't the bad guy, type of thing. Um I am not a big fan of horror games, contrary to what Boney says. But I do have some horror games planned. Like I am gonna be playing Outlast Trials next week.
Mm-hmm.
I have played some horror in the past. Like I did do Devour. Um, and I want to do some others. All, if you will, also notice like they're co-op games because I don't like scary games particularly.
Mm.
Um,
Devour's a fun game.
it is. It's so fun. It's so crazy. But I also have a community challenge going on currently, which Boney is a big fan of, revolving around the original Resident Evil, which when it came out on GameCube scared the pants off of me. And so I never touched the Resident Evil again. And Boney is determined to break me of that fear.
Mm.
So I will probably in the new year be scheduling a Resident Evil stream and pooping my pants.
So would that be the would that be like the OG on of like the PlayStation version or the
Like
GameCube one or
I think it is the GameCube one, but on Steam, it is the RE with the mansion. Like OG one. Boney, you can correct me if I'm wrong because Boney knows. Boney's a big Resident Evil fan. Boney knows. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Boney. But I think it is that one. I believe it is like the original RE1 Resident
yeah,
Evil.
because it'd be RA1 or whatever. Because like when it first came out, it was PlayStation. It's okay. So like one of the recent remake ones. Okay,
That's not the one you gave me, I don't think. I could be wrong still.
what does it say is the release date on the Steam page?
Ooh, let's find that out.
Because like
Mm.
the
I was like, it looks like it's a lot older, but I mean, if it's a remake, it makes sense. Well, I searched Resident Evil. It's like 16 games. I know.
it's the 2002 remake. Okay. So yeah, like that same one that was like released like on the GameCube or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely the GameCube one. Oh, for sure, for sure. That's why I know it's gonna terrify the hell out of me. Ooh,
Okay. Um right then
my bones.
uh sorry, I had an instant flashback to Futurama and the guy that has bonitis. And he said my bones. I don't okay. Obscure reference. Never mind. Uh um anyway, so how long? I think you mentioned. How long have you been streaming?
My 3 years. My first stream was in March of 2021, but the way I'm streaming now, like where I'm actually streaming consistently and
Mm-hmm.
like with a schedule, that has, I would say, actually would be last year when I got the computer that I have
Mm.
because it allows me to, it doesn't freak out and cry if I run OBS and literally anything else. So, so I would say it would be like August of last year. So yeah, about a year
Okay.
in the version that I've currently been in. It's about a year.
Hmm. 80s guys obscure. Well, maybe it's more of just like the one off like Futurama
80s
whatever
guy, man, I remember
for
this.
might be considered. That's oh
Orange.
oh hello Origin. Thank you so much for the 2 gift subs. Thank you so much. Let's see. I hope you're doing well. Uh, Hi, Bubble Fairy. Please do not die from the bonitis.
Hi,
Okay, so we got it.
Bubba.
Uh, Uh, I'm waiting for the coffin dance little music to stop, to be finished playing. That happens. Uh, um, all right. So, but yeah, I would have got to please enjoy your emotes. Um, and once again, if you have any questions for Jax here, please put those in the chat. Um,
By all means, feel free.
yes. Um, uh, 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 let's see. Now, what have you enjoyed most about streaming?
Oh, the community, hands down.
Hmm.
It's the people, truly. Like, I have learned to like step outside my box and and I'm getting into different genres of games and all that, and that's fun. But it really is the community. It's the folks that show up on stream. It's the like the friendships that happen and like continue to grow off stream. Like it's my favorite part.
Hmm.
If not if not for Twitch and the people that I've met, I would not be living the life I live now. Like it's a lot of my closest friends are people that I met and got to know through Twitch.
Hmm.
And I like one fun fact about me and Twitch. I joined Twitch because a friend of mine, when I lived in Georgia, was like, "Hey, I want to do this streaming thing. You know, could you come and support me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Like, of course, I'm going to support my friends." I knew nothing about Twitch. And I hop on Twitch and I'm like, doing the whole learning what lurking is and just being in chats or whatever. And I meet somebody through her channel, in her chat or whatever, and we get to know, like we get to talking because oh crap, we're both from New York. We already have stuff in common and like we're relaying like all of the things and where we grew up or whatever. And it turns out that and again, this is me in Georgia. This is years ago. I am years removed from even being in New York at this point, like a good almost decade removed from being in New York at all.
Mm-hmm.
And find out that she is actually the cousin of someone that I went to school with, like
Oh
junior
wow.
high. Like she's the younger cousin of, and I'm like, okay, there's no reason for Twitch to be bringing that kind of like just circle energy into my life from somebody that I used like that I grew like essentially like grew up with because we went to school together for like 8 years. It's like it's crazy to think, that I'm meeting her family on Twitch through somebody else who knew neither one of us before, So anyway, Twitch is a magical place for all
Hmm.
of its faults and, just sometimes just rough times. Twitch is Twitch is Twitch is truly
Yeah.
like it's things
Yes.
just wouldn't be.
Yeah. So we are now at like I think we're at like 3 for 3 as far as So because this is the third episode that they've done us spilling the tea, and that's like the fur and the and that's the third time I got basically the answer of it being like the meeting people and like
The
the
people,
community or whatever on as far as most enjoyable thing about Twitch. So
absolutely.
um so I
They don't do anything else right. They at least have the community part down.
this is true. um uh I think it was where it was like a it wasn't this past TwitchCon as like the one before or whatever, where I was hearing like some people, someone saying, where it's like, and that was like, and this was one of the things with like someone like breaking their tailbone because of like a mess up on one of the booths or whatever. That it's like they felt like going to it was like a success, basically more of because of the people that they were the other streamers and stuff that they were able to meet
Right.
there. That was last year. It was.
Absolutely.
I feel like there was okay, yeah. Are there two TwitchCons a year or something like that?
There's TwitchCon EU, and then there's TwitchCon in the States.
Okay, the streamer hurt
Oh, the
themselves.
ball pit.
Yeah,
Woo, the
that
ball
one,
pit.
the one that where the ball pit was like, we have, or it was like foam or whatever. We have like this thin layer of foam, and then onto straight concrete.
Yeah, that was real bad.
Oh gosh, oh, hurt just hearing about it.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Oh, and let's see. Bull Fairy asked the question, what's been your favorite game to stream?
Good question. I've streamed a lot more than I realized. Um, Let me think back. I've hold on. I think for me, one of it's definitely up there was Gree, which is it's one of those games that just hurt your soul. Um, it's a story puzzler, and it's if you don't know, like it's there's no like dialogue in the game at all. You are literally this character, and like she's learning about herself and uncovering like all these really it was just a beautifully done game. There was a game that came out recently that was also by the same people, done in the same style, and Neva, I think it was.
What was the name of like that you gave like the game that you mentioned?
Here,
What was the
this
title?
one, that one,
Okay.
and it was so good to stream. And honestly, I'm very glad at that point I was not a cam streamer because I'm a cam streamer now, or at least partially, because that game had me in tears. Like it was a great game, but it hit some spots like emotionally just going through like with the character
Mm-hmm.
so good. It's why I can't bring myself to play Journey, which is kind of a similar game. And Journey is one of those games where because of how it's done, people will see you like the Journey community, they will see you playing and they will pull up in chat just to watch you go through the game yourself because it's that kind of game. It just does that to you. And I'm afraid to play it because I know it's gonna hurt. Like it hurts, but it hurts in a good way. Like
Mm.
it's you know it's a good game because it makes you feel like that. And Gree is like that. Like it has a great story and the gameplay itself is really good. And just like going through that on stream, I think I did that when I was doing a my first charity stream too. So it holds a really good place for me. Like it holds a really big place for me. It
Mm.
was fun to do.
Okay. And so okay, so this might be you may have somewhat already answered this question or whatever. We'll see. But so um what have you streamed that has the most psychological and or emotional impact on you?
So that question actually isn't even Gree. That one is Spiritfarer, without a doubt. Like not and I say that when I literally just finished playing Life is Strange, which is emotional devastation the game. Um but for me personally, it was Spiritfarer because of what Spiritfarer is by definition. Like you
Mm-hmm.
are taking these souls, like you're ferrying them to the other side. And I recommend that game for everybody. God, Boney, you keep it down. I recommend Spiritfarer for everybody. I do not recommend that everybody stream it just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a particular character, and I think that a lot of people actually really just love this character just because of who they are and how they're presented. And the end of that character was way too close to home for me personally, as far as real life goes,
Mm-hmm.
that I actually had to take time out of the stream. Like I had to take a break on stream to recover. Like that's how hard it hit.
Oh wow.
And like I'm trying currently actively trying to 100% that game, and I know I have to go back through that again, and it is absolutely putting like a pause on me, like it's like an invisible wall for me. Like I know I have to do it and I should do it, but still it's like, but do I really? Kind of like I keep, like I have that, I give myself like that pause. It's like,
Mm.
but are you sure you want to do that again? Like it's, yeah. It was done very well. They did it, like the folks that made the game, they did a great job with it. It was just for me and the timing of it, like it was very real. And all the stories, like all the little stories in that game are very real. And they are, I can imagine, relatable to many people, like that you would encounter, like somebody that's like that, or you have known at some point in your life. Which is why I say that game should absolutely be played by everyone. It should be experienced by everyone. Just maybe not on stream.
uh uh but this occurred to me or whatever, since you do like story games and stuff like that. Have you ever played the game uh uh Valhalla, where
No.
it's the, well, it's the weird spelling or whatever, but it's it's this 2D bartending game.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't played, but I've seen that.
yeah, it's a really cool game or whatever, and like just has a really interesting story and character and stuff like that. Um,
I like, when I tell you, I love character driven games. I love story games. I will add it to my list.
yeah, definitely because you know, it's it's one of those like kind of genius things or whatever of going like providing this, you know, especially that it is like this, cyberpunk dystopian thing. So you're experiencing, but from this like angle of you're a bartender, and just so you're talking just to these, meeting these people or whatever coming in.
Mm.
Some are like just kind of coming in, then others are regulars and stuff like that from all these different, walks of life and jobs and stuff like that that you get to meet and end up talking to.
They do say like a bartender knows, like, because people just tell their lives to bartenders. Bartenders just know a lot. I like that. I like the idea of that. Very much. Add that to my list. Oh, that sounds like it's a game that will hurt my feelings too.
There's there are quite a few like comedy bits or whatever on it, so that it runs the gambit on things or whatever. So, but it's in general, it's really, and the art style is really cool, and it has really good soundtrack
Oh, I'm all
on tap.
in.
So, uh, which I think they still have like um I haven't checked. Do they have? I think they still have plans for the a sequel. Oh yeah,
Man,
and for
I
anyone
can't
wondering on
wait.
the title or whatever, let me go ahead and, because if it's weird. But yeah, that's the title of the game. Um, if anyone else wanted to check that or whatever. But I think they're supposed to be coming out with a sequel still. I'm not sure.
Man,
I thought they
that's
were.
exciting.
I know
I hope
there's
they do, especially if this one did well.
yeah, there's a few other like things that I'm looking into that have like seem to have like a similar like thing of there's one coffee talk where it's you're a coffee barista in like this fantasy world or whatever, which seems to have kind of a similar thing.
Oh, it's
Uh,
a talking sim. Ooh.
and then there's one I came across which if I come across it on cheap or whatever, I may have to do it. Uh, uh, okay, I do see Valhalla still have like a sequel thing. It's listed as TBD, so it still has a Steam page, which is called Nirvana.
Good. I hope it comes out.
Um, but what was this one that I found? Trying
I
to.
hope it doesn't get stuck in like curator hell. Not
Oh
curator
yeah,
hell, like development hell.
yeah, Dev Hell. There's this one weird thing that kind of feels like that's like similar to is that I'm kind of interested whatever, but it's called I feel this is probably closer a bit to like a dating like visual novel or whatever, but called Hookah Haze.
I love that name though. Unpacking. Ooh, I have never played Unpacking. I think I have Unpacking. Unpacking is another one of those games. Unpacking tells an incredible story. Oh my god.
If you're showing,
I love that game.
I have it. It's one of those, I have it. I just haven't like played it, so hmm, I'll definitely
It's one
have
of
to get
those, like it's the same. Same.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that it had like a specific like story thing. That's really cool. It's one of those things that
Right?
I think I ended up getting it because I do the Humble Bundle like monthly membership thing.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of that or used that or whatever, but for anyone who doesn't know, so the site Humble Bundle, you can like get it's a site. It's actually legitimate or whatever, where you purchase keys or whatever. Or so this one, like they're keys that are gotten from like publishers or whatever, and the reason they can do special stuff or as part of like these packs are because of like the certain amount of like the profits are going to charity. So
Yeah.
they'll make deals with publishers and stuff like that to get like a certain amount of keys. And one of the things is that there is a membership thing where it's about $12 a month. And so like every month you'll get a mix of 8 game keys, um, which you can either keep for yourself or just gift to people. And normally they'll be for like Steam. Some may be for like GOG, but normally it's like through Steam. Uh, they'll just like Steam keys. Um, and uh, 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 and it'll vary whatever. But one of the things that it's like that is also one of the reasons why you might want to like keep on doing it is because over time, because being part of it, you also get a a discount on a set percent discount on like all their game keys on the site that they
Oh
have.
wow.
And normally I think it starts at like 5%, but like every 3 months it goes up and to a max of 20%. So, um, which it means there's some games that and you can get like that 20% on like some of the newer games or whatever normally pretty quick. So, um,
Pretty good.
so if that so if you set it up or whatever, like some months there's kind of like months that kind of fizzle out for me or whatever. But normally there's at least like one neat game or something like that that more than justifies like paying like the $12 a month. So unpacking I got as one of those things. Um
It's a
so
good game. It's
yeah,
definitely a good game.
yeah, let's see. Basically unpacking this person's life as they move through the years. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
and Boney, did you cancel it after?
Got humble bundle randomly last month, and I got charged when I didn't know I had it. Persona 4 Golden is in it. Yeah, I saw that. It was like that in Dark Tide, I believe. Yeah. So if you wanted either of those games, um, for basically like $12 for each of them, I give the Jax the cancel. Oh, okay. But you can still join in on that month. So if you wanted to do that or whatever, even just for like this or whatever, that um you can do that. Obviously, there is more incentive to keep your subscription going on because for to get up that 10% or to that 20%, it takes like you have to be like it's like for a year.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
That's fair. I mean,
yeah, so
you gotta
it
get something out of it.
it takes a while, but even then you're still going up like to you know after a few months you're still getting like a 10% or 15. I forget
Yeah,
what the
that's
exact.
pretty solid.
Yeah, so it is a phenomenal deal in general, and there's a lot of times where I'll get neat stuff. And once again, even if it's stuff I already have, like uh, you can
You
gift
can
it to
always
friends and
share.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's easy to do. Um, anyway, let me the next question. So, what has been one of the most memorable moments streaming?
Um, I mean that's probably pretty cheesy, but when I was I say when I was a smaller streamer, I'm still a very small streamer just because I don't stream a lot. I don't and I'm not a consistent streamer and a lot of my friends oddly enough like stream full-time hours like 30 and 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
So by comparison, I am absolutely a teeny tiny baby streamer. Um, and I don't like. I'm sure like at I have the mind like there's a culture right where um big streamers raid big streamers
Mm-hmm.
and small streamers raid small streamers, right?
Right.
And I think that was, I guess that's just like the expectation of most things in life. Like folks that are higher up help folks that are higher up and vice versa. And one of and it's ironic now because I was actually playing a scary game, getting the poop scared out of me. Um, one of my friends brought the community over to watch me stream because I was doing one of those times that I stream when I don't stream,
Mm-hmm.
and he happened to catch me. So he sent the community over to hang out. And since a lot of people just didn't know I stream because I tell people all the time I don't stream, they were surprised. And so it was them all actually finding out that I stream and seeing that I actually do this and seeing the difference between what they're used to on his channel versus mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really cool because A, I don't expect anybody to raid me ever. And at the time, I was afraid of literally that. Like, big raids intimidated me as somebody who's like not really about people. Like, the idea of it intimidated the crap out of me and it made me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was community, it was people that I like hung out with generally anyway, just not with me in the streamer seat.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool, and it felt really at home, and I liked that. It was really nice. It was really nice. Like to him,
Mm.
it was no big deal because it's literally like going to see a friend. But for me, it was like I'm not I'm not a streamer, so why are you bringing people to see me do this? And like obviously my mentality has changed a lot since then. Like I don't look at like raids and streams that way because like yeah, like we're all just like it's really when you have like your friends, it is like it's your friends and you are treated like as friends and
Mm,
there isn't that divide. And again, it goes back to it being community and not being about the streaming and the games. Like it's really about the community and it's the people. It's always the people first. I
mm.
love that. Pony, you gave me the games you had, and
Okay. uh, let's see. Um, thanks. So, what has been it's been your favorite collaborative event you've taken part in?
okay, so I will say it was the one that I just did this past weekend, and it's literally it's going back to that whole me not considering myself like a streamer just because I don't do things on the level that these people do things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was a part of a 30-person event, actual 30 streamer event
Oh wow.
where we were competing, playing three different games: Fall Guys, Fortnite, and Crab Game. And the whole thing was like it's hard enough to get like four people together, let alone 30. And it took weeks. Like they messaged people back in August, like, hey, do you think you can be available for three separate weekends starting in November, depending on how you place? So like it was last weekend, it's next weekend, and then a weekend in December. So you had to commit yourself to 3 weekends, months in advance for this whole big thing.
Mm.
And um it was a success. Like of course, obviously like there was a whole lot of fun. Like things were crazy, things were chaotic because it's 30 people and the host, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, a lot of different personalities, but it was just really nice to be a part of something like that because it's just something you don't hear of often. I and it definitely took all of my social battery because I'm an ambivert. I'm an ambivert and I have like a 4 hour window of me having all the energy in the world and then it takes me 4 years to recover. So like it was great to do it, and then after that, I wanted to cocoon for 3 days. But it was really nice to do and to be able to take part in it with some friends. It was really cool.
mm. Okay, let's see. But fixing. Uh, oh, and yeah, this is fine because honestly, it's based kind of was mentioned like just at the super beginning of stream. So just for those that weren't at the very beginning of the stream, to let know what do you tend to
Absolutely.
stream?
Um, I will say, like I will say it till I'm doing a face. I am typically a I'm a story player. Like Dark Pictures, Detroit Become Human, the whole Walking Dead series I did. I'm currently going through the Life is Strange series, but I also do like I have because Boney will absolutely remind you. I have like Danganronpa, Final Fantasy 10 2. I'm currently running back through um a lot of indie games. Like on my actual page, you can I have a list of all the games I've completed on stream. You will see primarily indie games. I
Mm-hmm.
do have some Batman on there, some Injustice, but it is primarily indie games and I am dipping my toe into horror. I have not played Persona yet, but I do now own a Persona game or two, so I will also probably be playing Persona. um and yeah, like I started off as a indie puzzle streamer with an affinity for everything Annapurna, literally everything Annapurna. And as I've played more and I've streamed more, I've kind of drifted into the variety streamer space. Like I'm
Mm.
doing more co-op games like Helldivers and Finals and like Devour like we were talking about earlier. Um I have Outlast Trials coming next week because I'm crazy, and very soon Resident Evil because my community is crazy. But yeah, like I'm definitely variety bubble. I'm definitely variety now. It's mostly games. I have done some just chatting where like we'll pull up and talk about whatever's on the docket. Like I had a thing where I wanted some anime to watch and I didn't know what animes were out there. And so I had the community come to me with their opinions on anime, which turned into a whole thing about which one was better than which, and you know, the
Boku no Piku.
right like the tendency for different anime versus others, and why Dragon Ball Z isn't as big a deal as everyone wants it to be, or the other way, or it was, like that kind of stuff. Like it's kind of organic, however it goes, Yeah, we're all over the place.
Mm. Although that does make it since you're sorry the have you tried any visual novels before?
That would be um Danganronpa, which I've, as Bonnie will tell you, been playing for like a year. Um Danganronpa, a soon to be Persona, I imagine, as far as visual novels go. I don't think any of the rest of them count as visual novels. I will never ever in my life play Doki Doki. I have watched Doki played twice. You will never catch that on my stream.
Too
But
traumatizing.
right. Oh my god, Monica. Um but like yes, I've dabbled in the visual
Mm.
novel. No, Boney, it will never be a challenge either. It will never be a challenge. It's like me playing Outlast, the original Outlast. Never playing that. Never, ever, ever. Um,
Me laughs in
my,
Higurashi. Okay.
like, my favorite anime right now. Um, and granted, I haven't sat down and watched an anime in a while. I do know there's a Terminator one that's out. I believe, I think so, and I've heard good things. Attack on Titan will stay with me forever. Um, oh my god, there's a Full Metal Alchemist will also stay with me forever. But there's a Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm.
Yes, like it's very like off the beaten path. Like I've been told I need to watch JoJo. JoJo, what's JoJo? There's a JoJo anime I keep getting told I need to watch. Um, and like I have a list in my phone, like a whole note of anime for me to sit down and go through whenever off time comes. So again, probably in January, I'll be able to sit and just go through and watch some animes. And I am always up for recommendations. Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul just snatched me up and ran with me. Okay, like it's just like fairy tales on my list, and Death Note, because Death Note is also like one of those that just timeless essentially. But
Uh,
I am very behind when it comes to watching things. Like I'm just now watching like The Wire and stuff from whenever that came out. So if
no.
that tells you anything about me.
Uh, if you want, so like my favorite, and this would be like TV series or whatever. So I'm not talking like movies or stuff like that. Just like as far as like like just TV series. and so this would be my favorite TV anime series as well as a part of just TV series. But so Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. So which was it came out like 04, 05. Like it was like premiering on Adult Swim back when I was in
I
high
was
school.
Toonami, right? That sounds like a Toonami show.
Yeah, Adult Swim, Toonami. It was yeah, it was on their like Saturday night slot of like the of Standalone Complex, and then of which there were like 2 seasons of. It was done by Studio IG, and it was using the IP of Ghost in the Shell. Um, and if it is this, so the cyberpunk, genre, um, uh, and it followed. It was kind of so it was kind of like the kind of cop drama, I guess would be in a way of doing it, where it's like crime, like or would it be more police procedure or whatever. I
Yes.
guess in that kind of general in that sphere, but in this like cyberpunk setting, and it was always like just like, but it was a really cool series or whatever, and each like of the 2 seasons, because there would be this overarching plot that would be going on that you would resolve or whatever at the end of the season. But in between that, there would be kind of like these one-off stories and cases, um, and that they were all really cool. And honestly, it was just phenomenal animation, and just it it has an absolutely banger of a soundtrack. I mean, like
Love.
I have like some just tracks from that are just on my regular master playlist that they're just like flat out just good. So it's one of those things where it's like I would strongly recommend that to anyone of just like giving it. Um,
At least
the,
a little look.
yeah, because the animation is still like is you know it was done by Studio IG, and then like them in their on one of their when they're on like their A game. So phenomenal quality in writing and stuff like that.
I
Um,
love it.
and the soundtrack was done by Yoko Kanno. So, the same person that did the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop, Cowboy Bebop, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So,
Cowboy Bebop. Toonami taught me a lot about anime, I must say.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Let's
man.
see. If I may make a suggestion, if you want to sit watch power watch, just 2 seasons of an adventure for the visual novels Diabolic Lovers. I think I've heard of that.
I've added it to my
It
list.
is, or it is. It's not great. If you want something that's just a flat out trip, have you ever seen the English dub of Ghost Stories?
No, I've never even heard of that.
Um, it is. Um, so so it was one of these series that like it was kind of the original, like just the original version of it was just kind of like a flop. I think, or wasn't didn't do that good, or like it did okay in Japan or whatever, but it was kind of like eh. Although I've heard multiple takes on this, on how this entity came about, but
Ooh.
it basically ended up to when it was getting dubbed or whatever. Basically, they were all like got permission or whatever to go like, okay, everyone just go freaking ham on this. So it's like it's like an abridged series but it is the official English dub. So it's an
I'm okay
abridged.
with that.
It is
I
an
like that.
it is an abridged series basically, although it's done with all the stuff, all the full length abridged series, but it's all done with like these professional voice actors during the time frame of like 2006. Um, so the the golden age of Funimation, pretty much. Oh, um,
God.
it is. It is. Because like this supposed setting or whatever is this sort of like mystery if it's smalling these kids or whatever that are like dealing with all these ghosts or whatever then that are haunting their school,
Yeah.
and it's just I'm trying to
Well,
think.
I'm here for it.
There are so many scenes or whatever, but are the sort of things like no, I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
Oh no.
uh uh the
Yeah,
early 2000s.
very. Bubble is correct.
It is mid 2000s or whatever. The type of stuff where it's like I can't say that. I'm going to laugh at it like I'll get out, but I'm not going to say.
My
um
God.
uh uh but uh anyway, um uh uh sorry, I'm just the a number of reference from that are all of scenes from that are running through my head, all of which I can't say, most of which I can't say. Anyway, it is. So once again, that's Ghost Stories. So that's the English dub. If y'all want to watch something that's like, yeah, that peak mid 2000s energy, there you go. Then our professional voice actors. There we go. Um. Anyway, let me. Okay, I want to make sure I get all the. But uh uh. So, what short-term streaming goals do you have?
So, oh, that's such a good question too. Um, I've actually my most immediate short-term streaming goal is to double the amount of hours streamed versus last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I am within 100 hours of that. So I'm pretty confident I can get it done before December, for the year is out.
Mm.
Um, I do want my other like short-term goals, honestly, like to get a schedule going and to be more consistent, keeping with my 2 days a week and just kind of planning ahead so that outside of unforeseen circumstances, my streams still go.
Mm.
Um, that's for this year. For next year, like I think it's just to get out of my shell, really, and do more of the collab things, like because that whole thing this weekend, I don't think I would have agreed to it if the folks asking like weren't friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I kind of want to be more open to more collabs and more opportunities instead of like being afraid of it, you know? So
Mm.
just it all boils down to me like getting out of my shell, which I'm still partially in. Like as you can tell, like once I get going, like I feel better, like I'm way more comfortable doing it. But just me like getting my foot out the door and starting is my biggest like it's my biggest hurdle.
Mm.
And so I just kind of kind of want to move past that and get better at overcoming that.
Oh yeah, I feel that. So what would the long-term streaming goals do you have?
Long term streaming goals is kind of like to broaden the channel, obviously, to do more with it. Um, to maybe incorporate some of the other things like talk shows or like watch alongs, read alongs, that kind of thing.
Mm,
And I mean, like I don't have partner goals by any means. Like I don't that's not something I want. I don't foresee myself ever really wanting that. Like I like where I am and like the community I have and the friends that I have in it, like in Twitch right now. Like it's really good like for me. Like it fits me
mm-hmm.
and the kind of person I am. And I want to keep the brand that way. But I wouldn't mind growing a little bit. I think that probably lends to doing some collabs, like getting my face, like my quote unquote my face, more out there a little bit further and doing more. I also actually want to do more as far as charity goes because like the group that I did my first couple of charities with, like I'm not even a part of anymore because so many of them don't stream anymore. They stopped streaming.
Mm.
When I started streaming, they had already been streaming for a while, and life does what it do. So sometimes like folks are just unable to do the stream thing, and so they don't do it anymore. So I kind of just wanna I want to get back to doing more of that actually in
Oh
the long
yeah.
term.
Um. Okay, so if you could collab with one famous streamer, who would you pick?
Ooh, famous streamer?
Hmm.
Oh, famous. Um, how are we defining famous? Are we talking like Kai Sanat famous, or like when you go to TwitchCon, like everybody knows them famous?
I'm gonna say yes.
Um, okay,
Sorry,
I
I'm
don't.
doing the therapist or whatever thing on what do you think it's
I I I don't think I ever want to do Kai Sanat levels of anything because again, that's me. Like that is way too much attention. It's just too much. It's just too much. But I would not mind doing collabs with like former guild leaders like Chelsea Bites and Coco Confessions and actually one of our current guild leaders Sweet Sage because they actually at least like in this last year they've been a big part of me taking the approach to streaming that I have like essentially I guess taking it more seriously or at least like putting more time and effort into it and actually enjoying it myself more is because of them. And it's not like it honestly it doesn't have anything to do with their content. It's just their approach to streaming. Like you don't like I think and I'm pretty sure it's what I was doing is kind of like looking at streaming through the eyes of my friends, the ones that I know that do streaming like all the time and trying to do it like they do. But I'm now more so doing it like in a way that I want to do and like things that I want to do and how I want to do it. And I'm enjoying it more because of that. And so I would love to like do collabs with Chelsea or Coco or Sage because like they're like that. Like they're very down to earth. They do what they want on their streams. Like they don't fit any particular like mold and you don't have specific expectations. And when I say that, like their content, the three of them, they do very different content between the three of them, like what they do on the
mm.
stream. So it really is like it's the person and it's how they are on stream. It's who they are on stream, and they are the exact same as they are offline. Because like I spent time with them offline. It's just that's the kind of thing I want to do. And so I'd love to maybe one day, maybe
Hmm.
one day do something with them.
Hmm. When we're gonna start eating the food on the table after stream because
My eye,
we're
my
gonna
heart on the bottom.
we're gonna eat it. Um, let's see. Okay. All right. So last question that we're gonna do for the night. Um, but what advice would you give to people considering streaming or VTubing?
Would honestly say for that, and I'll say this is two different things. Streaming in general, I will say, um, don't don't have like super high expectations. Work within like your means. Like don't think like straight out of the gate that you need a super full setup to start streaming. You don't. There are people that have like they did their first streams on their phones, you know, and that's entirely okay. As a place to start, that's entirely okay. Don't think your stream needs to be all flashy and you need to have crazy alerts because that's also like that's not for everybody. Make your stream what you like because people will be able to tell. As long as you're happy and you're enjoying it yourself, the community will come for you. Like they'll be able to tell if you're not enjoying it, like if you're not having a good time, if, like if it's just not for you, they'll be able to tell. As far as like VTubing or PNG tubing or anything like that, know that it is a process and it does take a lot. It is a lot of resources. Um, your any VTubers, PNG tubers that you see, they have put and not to say that other streamers have not, but it is just a different type of time and effort that goes into what they do because they have to put a lot into the model, a lot behind the scenes goes into what you see on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And just always take that into consideration. Um, if that's the path that you want to choose, just know that like it honestly it might be a bit of an undertaking. If you are leaning towards that, feel free to go no cam at first until you are in a place where you can do the VTube. And I mean, above all, enjoy it because that's what it's for. Like streaming, like I know, like a lot of people, it is a job for a lot of people, but you should have fun with it. You should get joy out of it, and yeah, things like that. It should be fun. It should be a good time. It should be like just hanging out with friends.
Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for going. I This was a lot of fun. It was really cool getting to do this nice lengthy sit down with you. I really appreciate it.
Sure, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Now, if you one chance, like one last chance to, you know, if there's an event going on or whatever that you'd like to advertise before we go, as we're wrapping up, would that you'd like to not go, please take the opportunity to do so.
I stream twice a week, typically Mondays and Thursdays. There would be an occasional weekend stream, not always guaranteed just because of my work schedule. But um, this Thursday, I will be starting up a new story game, Two Falls, be an experience where you play two different characters in two different timelines. One is in the past, one is in the future, type of thing. And next week, next Tuesday, which is a big deal for me just because I don't do it, is Outlast Trials. Next Tuesday, actually, about this time.
And
I
another
don't, oh
sipper.
my God, that was from my anniversary stream.
Oh yeah, I knew mortuary assistant. Oh gosh,
I'm ready to go. I'm
When
ready
I
to
tell you I
go.
forgot I played that game, I blocked that out of my mind.
I am so ready to hell dive right now.
I streamed that once or whatever, and I got one ending. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good enough. I got a crappy
See,
ending, and I was like, I got a ending. I made this through. Thanks for coming in.
I don't do scary games. That game scared the crap out of me, and I'm going to get the crap scared out of me next week too. But always feel free to come by and hang out. I do get bullied by my mods and my VIPs, but who doesn't? And like, we'll have a good time. We'll have a great time.
Mm. Yeah. All right. Now, so yeah, thank you so much. And so, this was episode 3 of Spilling the Tea with Virgil and Friends. Mm-hmm.